Hello, my name is Maurice O'Keefe. I'm with Paddy Cronin from Rahena here in West Limerick. And Paddy, tell me, you're 90 now. You were born in what year? 1910, is it?
1910, yeah.
And you weren't living here all your life.
I was born and reared until I was 10 years in Knockera, in Tillerace. And my father bought this place down here in 1920. We moved down here. We still kept the place in Knockera. And that meant that there was a lot of hard work before us. And you see, I had 5 brothers and 2 sisters. And we all hung on to the place and we paid for it and had the 2 places in. In 1931 then my father bought, he built a dance hall. Well, it was only renovated the house, like, and he built a dance hall here in Rahena.
Of course, the Cronins have a great tradition. What was your father's name?
Dennis Cronin.
Yeah. And it was the first dance hall, was it, around the area?
It was one of the first dance halls that's in West Limerick.
My goodness. And how did he do well? I'm sure he did very well.
Very well. It wasn't so big in the start, but we extended it in and we made it bigger. And it went from better and better to getting. And of course this is held going grand until the Stardust got burned in Dublin. And the old dance halls, they weren't up to date enough. That they weren't very well put together. So eventually we had to go. in 1982 it was closed. And the night it was closed was the biggest night over there.
My goodness, yeah.
It wouldn't pass anymore. The fire crowd wouldn't pass.
And that was the end of that then?
That was the end of that then.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, at that stage, the people were changing. The drink was coming into the question. And you would have no ability to go into a dance until it wasn't drinking in the dance hall. And I said that wouldn't suit us either at the same. So we forgot about it.
Of course, you grew up in a time when there were no pubs. When
the dancer used to start at 7:30 and be over at 10:30. And everyone would be gone home and stayed in bed before 12 o'clock. There was no such thing as anyone up after 12 o'clock at night, anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
There was too much work to be done. You had to get up in the morning and milk the cows and all, 6 o'clock. Have the milk at the creamery at a certain time and all. It was all going and hard work. But people didn't know better and they got on grand.
They did indeed, yeah. Did you have, before the creameries, do you remember before the creameries here, don't you?
I don't remember before the creameries at all, but I never remember only creameries there. The creameries were there in all my time. So we went to creamery in Bradford first, and then we went to creamery here in Cantor. We came down here.
And do you remember when this one first started? The one?
No, it was started in 1903. Creamery here in Cantor. Yeah. So that was before my time.
And you remember going to the creamery?
Oh God, yes, yeah. I went to the creamery several times up to Usher. It was 14, 15 years ago. We were going to the creamery. It should be a holy fate if we missed the creamery because you would have all the news.
It was a way of life, wasn't it?
It was the way of life. The horse would be carrying to the creamery or the donkey. That when the other one coming home, the horse to stop. We had to stop for a talk. the horse to stop anyway. You have to stop.
Automatically, the horse would.
He would stop. Yeah. So that was the carry on that way.
Yeah. Can you go back to have you memories of the Black and Tans?
I remember the Black and Tans, and this is why the first. I remember there was. See, at that stage, I was living in Knockera in Tillerace up, and there was a fish in Tillerace. And we had a maid, and there was 2 or 3 of us, the eldest of us, we had a maid, and the donkey and car, she took us to the fish. And I don't remember very much about the fish, I was about 9, 8 or 9 maybe.
And who was on the donkey and cart now?
My brother, Bat,
your 2 brothers.
and my sister, Mary Ellen, the 2 of them are dead now. And I, myself, Paddy.
And you had your father and mother...
My father and mother didn't go at all.
Did not go at all, but you had the maid.
It was mostly our young lads who were singing in the stage.
Was it?
But in any case, when we were coming home from the fish, we were coming down through to Lilies. It was held in Lynch's Field that time. And I remember there was a big crowd there. It was the Sinn Féin crowd who carried on, of course. And we were coming down to the village. The Black and Tans were in the village. And the dust up was there, and they had bayonets in front of the rifles. There was bayonets in front of them. And one fellow wouldn't let us drive with the donkey. I thought he was going to kill the donkey. I got an awful fright.
Was he
was
just trying
he
to
was only
acting?
acting,
Yes,
yeah. So he'd see we were frightened inside in the car now. But there was a song sung at the fish that day, and I think I have the song.
Well, in that case, you must sing it for me, you know that.
This is how it goes now. Hear it on the mountains, hear it in the glens, hear it in the cities, the tramp of marching men. God liked the way you're faring, God gave you strength and daring to strike a blow for Erin with the Irish volunteers. Lift up your flag of freedom, let it be your marching song. The music of the rifle be clear and sweet and strong. God liked the way you're faring, God gave you strength and daring to strike a blow for Erin with the Irish volunteers.
Well, I think that was a beautiful song, and well sung. Well sung. There's nothing wrong with your voice, I can tell you. It's perfect, Paddy.
That was the song that was sung at that fish in 1919.
Imagine that, yeah. But do you have any other stories relating to the Black and Tans?
Well, the only thing I have about him, see, we used to, my father used to take us up to the other farm, and we were going up Killeila Hill, and my father, to the north of Hill, my father had the horse by the head, and my brother Bat and myself, we were walking after the car, and didn't we find 5 or 6 bullets in the road, bullets, they were revolver bullets. And at that stage, the Black and Tans would throw the bullets there on the road, and they'd come on death run and search you, and if they found them, they would put into the barrack.
Oh, so they were
very
planted.
serious.
They were planted there for you to pick up. Yeah.
We were wise enough to know that. We never told my father about it. We put him in our pockets. And when the whole thing had cleared up after some years, we had him hide. It was my brother Bat had him more or less. And there was a hole in a pier, timber, Bogdale post and there was a hole in it. We put him into the hole, and we got a nail and a hammer and put him going. And that very near blew the hand of me, the one and blew back. Not escape.
My goodness.
So we were lucky to get rid of them that way. So we had, I don't remember much more about the Black and Tan, but I remember the Free State soldiers in there came along this year. They came in here and they searched the house for times. Mm-hmm. But they weren't as bad. The Black and Tans were a terrible crowd, of course. I had a cousin out there in North Cork. He was a marksman. He was out with Milan. He went to the world of ambushes because he had a deadly shot. And he used to shoot the pigeon. See, when the Black and Tans would be attacked, they had a pigeon, and they let the pigeon go, and he'd fly back to the base. And their command in the reinforcements would come on. And this man, his name was Paddy Cronin. He used to shoot. He often shot the pigeon, the hand and all. when he put the hand to be put out, he shot the pigeon inside the man's hand.
My goodness, yeah. And that was a carrier pigeon that would bring a message from...
The pigeon would go
yeah.
back to the barrack,
Yeah.
That was the way,
Yeah.
in them days. So that's it.
Can you tell me your to go back again to your father and arriving here? Was he always into music?
No.
How did he get the
Mind
idea
you,
to
no.
set up the first dance hall here?
Well, I tell you, there was a man here by the name of DSC. He was the manager of Kentwater Creamery. My father himself was very great. I'd say that concocted between them. And he bought the pub here, the DSC did, and to be an addition to the pub as well in addition to us. So that it favoured him in the pub, and it favoured us to see as well.
But it was a very enterprising thing to do at the time, you know, and a very brave thing to do, because I mean, that was never heard of before.
Well,
in
the
this
funny
area.
thing was that the parish priest that was here went up against us most awful. It wanted it all.
Did he?
And then, you see, there was no licence in the start, and nothing. So then when the licences started, the priest went up to every court to say to stop us. But he was always turned down. I remember the judge asked him what grounds was he trying to stop us. Well, he said he's a farmer. He said that he shouldn't be, and he's built in a farmyard. And all this, well, he said a farmer is the right man to have it unsolved, the judge said, because he has the backing.
Plenty of backing. So, I mean, he made a lot of money out of it, did he?
Well, you know, there wasn't an awful lot of money made out of it, but it was a fair bit, you know. You see, there were some good dances during the year. It was only a fortnight going to the dancing, would pay the most of it to the band. It was only fiddle players and banjo players. There's two or three local that would be playing in the start there now. There wasn't much money made at all, but it was a great place for collecting for young lads, and there were all the matches made there. Many of the men met his wife there, and many of the girls met their husband there.
From around here,
Them
actually.
days, all around, for 10 miles around. Oh, it used to be thronged all together.
You all came in your bikes.
And
There was no motor cars.
Oh, not one in the world, not one. Not all bicycles. And a lot of them came walking, and no bikes. And so was the weather, him.
Paddy, the kind of house you grew up in, I know you're in a very new house here now, but the house you grew up in, was it a thatched farmhouse?
Thatched house. Every house near was a thatched house at him. Every farmer's house was a thatched house at him. There was, and there was a thatcher going around all the time to touch the houses and making scallops to drive the thatch into the house. So there were busy times at night we were preparing scallops, you know. There was no rest. All day and all night. Must you get up in the morning, there was something to be going on the whole bloody thing. So we had a busy time, but you don't miss it. You miss the time going that way, you know. The time was flying.
Of course. And the houses were whitewashed, I'm sure, inside and outside.
Oh, whitewash. Nothing else but whitewash. There was no paint. We whitewash inside and outside. Is right.
Was there a different colour whitewash used in the inside of the houses, tell me?
Oh, the whitewash inside now.
But the wash, would it be blue or would it have a different colour?
They used to put yellow ochre, yellow ochre they called it. So that was, they had ways for putting on different colours, but mostly white, mostly the lime. And of course it was very purifying to kill all germs and everything. There was a share of them around in them days.
I'd say there was, yeah. Did you cut turf in your day?
Cut turf and everything, we had to cut turf too. Thin mangels and turnips and potatoes, picking potatoes and setting them, turn taiwas, and go to the bog and all that kind of thing. To the safe air, trying to safe air and bad weather and everything.
Did you see hard times?
We had too much work before they always. Too much work to do with two places, and we were very put to the test all the time. But my father was an awful man to work, but we had to do it, and that was it. But we always had enough to eat, because when we shot the meat with chili pig, the farmers weren't too badly off at all then, because that always chili pig, and they had plenty of potatoes. And we had plenty of cabbage, only go out in the garden and bring in the cabbage or turnip or parsnip or anything. We wouldn't know about that. But of course the work with the people that hung over was after us.
And did you walk your cattle to the fair? You did, of course. That was something that was. That
was the killing part with me. I was the salesman. From my father when being used to go off from, and he sent me out very early. And I always noticed, so the Monday the fair used to be in Newcastle, and we'd be up all night with the dances, so there hardly any bid. When you walk away in the morning to town, about 7 miles, and maybe you wouldn't sell it all, then you walk at home again. So that was the hardest day for you would be falling asleep nearly beyond the fair. Walk eating, stand below then all day, maybe rainy all day there.
That's right, imagine standing out in the rain. Yeah.
And we used to keep pigs in. We take the pigs into Newcastle to sell them in a rail, 4 or 5 pigs. And same thing, sell bonnets, carrot bonnets. And in later years then, when I got over, there was all the separated Mickey coming home from the creamery, we would have to buy bonnets. But if we hadn't more sense, we'd have to buy them. I used to go to Fermoy for bonnets and up there on the Cork side for bonnets. A trailer after the car, and I had a motor car. Bring them down. You get about a pound a head shape up there than it would in Newcastle.
You would travel that distance for that pound?
Pound are very scarce at him.
Yeah.
You get good pigs there at him for about 7 pounds. Well, about 6 pounds anyway, and that'd be 7 in Newcastle.
Paddy, you made the pounds, you stretched the pound. Everybody knew the value of money, didn't they?
Listen, you'd be all your bloody lifetime and you wouldn't be able to put £1,000 together. All your bloody life.
Yeah.
No hope. You couldn't be everyone was trying to get £1,000, but couldn't get it, couldn't get there.
But did you, your father, he brought things together and made things...
We all stuck together, and from we all stuck together, we had to pay a debt off now. And from that we paid, we were making all kinds of money. We had 2 farms in, and we built a house in the other farm, in 1940, and we kept the thing going anyway.
You were telling me that, your fine age, is it because you worked hard all your life that you look so fresh?
Well, I don't know. It's a very strange thing. My mother died at she's 62, and she never saw her father. Her father died suddenly before she was born.
Is that right? Oh my God!
But my father, then, his mother died in 1929. She died in 1929, and she was 99 years at him. And because I said the rest of us.
Do you remember your grandmother?
I do. She died in 1929. I was 19 years then.
And did you?
She had her memory up to the last and everything.
Did she?
Yeah.
Well, she lived during the famine.
She had 1 second. She had 10 children.
Had she 10 children? Mm. And where did they lived in? You lived in North Cork.
They went up to Chicago.
They did, yeah. But your grandmother came from where?
She was from Nakara. She was the next door neighbour to first. She was married.
Oh, I see.
There was the 2 next farms.
Yeah. She
was Stokes. Mary Stokes was her name.
Yeah. Did she tell you anything about the famine?
I wasn't choosing enough to ask her. If I said no, I would. I never thought. I never knew. I didn't understand it. She could have known all about it. Mm-hmm. She went through the family. That's what she was out there that time. She was 29. She was nearly 100 years. She was 1930. She went through the family. And I never.
But Paddy, was there any stories passed down to you about your grandmother and the hardship and where they came from? And
you see, that's killing me all these late years. That I didn't question that, you see. Crepes, I didn't.
But maybe she didn't want to talk about it because
she wasn't living with us now. She was living with her daughter.
Oh, I see.
And they were living up there in Knockare, and I didn't be meeting her so much. But I knew her. I have a photo for my father. I shot you for like soon.
Oh, I'd like to see it. But was she? Did you didn't visit her that often, did you?
Oh, we'd meet her every day nearly. Every
did you, yeah.
Yeah. They had a shop. Her daughter had a shop, and we used to be going there for messages and everything like that. She was. Most of the time she was sitting down. She had a second family with her. There was another big family. Her daughter. They had 10 more children.
But for a woman who lives right through the famine, my God, and coming out with 10 children was something else.
It was awful. There was 7 girls and 3 boys. My father one of them. My father went to America too. And my father was one of the youngest of the family, you know. And some of his brothers and sisters were grown up, and he was only a child. And they went away to America one by one. And they entered over in Chicago, and they got on awfully well there. And they brought my father over to see him. And when he got over, he got a job over, they got a job for him. And he'd went to come home then, he didn't want to come home at all. And he was going to get on well there if he stayed there.
And what brought him home?
They were afraid the place would go from him.
The farm, at home?
They thought more about that farm than they did about anything. And they were gracious and that. But of course, that was the way it was to be, I suppose. He came home and he took it over. We wouldn't be that tall only for that.
You wouldn't. That's true. But was there evictions in your family? Was it spoken about, from your grandmother's side or your grandfather's side?
About the people in Chicago?
No, the evictions at home.
I heard my father saying, he went with his mother to an eviction, and it was I know the people that's living there now, and they're Breens.
Where's this now, Paddy?
It was in the Muirland Parish. It was about 2 miles from where we were living in Knockare, you know. But my father went with his mother to the eviction. When there'd be an eviction in a place, you know, there'd be no men to the women that would go to try to save the thing. There'd be a few men inside, and they have boiling water inside, and they'd be throwing it out to them. But the people that were trying to evict them, boil water in barrels, and have it boiled inside, and that's why you know. And the women outside, and they're causing all kinds of eruptions. And the men wouldn't be that happy because there'd be murder if the men were there. So my mother said, or my father told me that he went with his mother to an eviction. But that was all evictions he ever saw. And he said they brought the battering ram, and they just bring the spring back, and this big bolt let go and hit the door and trod in. It was in a tripod.
Was it mentioned to you who were trying to evict the Breens from their house?
I don't know who was in the house that time now. It was the Breens that was there all that time. No, it wasn't that. The Breens is there now, but I don't know who they trying to evict. But of course, it was when you couldn't pay the rent. That's the reason. If we wouldn't be able to pay the rent, we'd be put out of the place.
And there was no mercy.
And then this year, the one that had taken over was called the grubber. And anyone that took over land then, for a wind up, if he took over land, he'd be shot. And that stopped it. We couldn't grab land anymore. But they were doing it for a bit and start. And some fellow would fall in and throw it to the man. So that was the carry on.
Before we go on any further, can I ask you to sing another song for me, Paddy?
I mean,
Thanks.
my father taught. I'll sing it. Stand up.
What's this now before you start?
It's a bit of an old comic song anyway, but it's the one that that I picked up from a man down in Limerick some years ago. But I gave this to people, and they'd be trying to sing it, but I said that they'd make very good hand of it. I was born in old Killarney one day when I was young, and that's another reason why I've the blarney on my tongue. Oh, the night was dark and stormy, and the rain came pouring down, and the old nurse Judy Carney lived a long way out of town. Now my father cut the donkey and yoked him in a crack, and with Judy up behind him, sure they very soon got back. Well, I was but a little baby then, sure the neighbours did allow. When they asked the girls to kiss me then, but faith they wouldn't do it now. Oh, they wouldn't do it now, sure they wouldn't do it now. They would ask the girls to kiss me then, but faith they wouldn't do it now. Now when 3 years old, a finer child the likes you ne'er could find. My hair was dark and glossy and hung down in waves behind. Oh, the girls would catch me in their arms and toss me like a ball. Well, I wouldn't let them do it now, for fear that I might fall. And when the summer time came round and bathing did begin, well, the girls would take off all their clothes and with me would get in. They would swim with me upon their backs, I had wrinkles on my brow. Well, I was a little baby then, but faith I wouldn't do it now. Oh, they wouldn't do it now, sure they wouldn't do it now. They would swim with me upon their backs, but faith I wouldn't do it now. Now when I began to cut me teeth, I used to cry all day. Well, the girls would come and pity me, and I oft times heard them say, well, God bless his little tooty youths, to see little tooties ache. I would look straight in their faces then, because I couldn't speak. They would feed me with a bottle then, in a most peculiar way. They'd rum it down my throttle, and I had to drink all day. They would place me in a cradle then, and if I kicked up a row, well, they'd take me into bed with them, but faith I wouldn't do it now. Oh, they wouldn't do it now, sure they wouldn't do it now. They'd take me into bed with them, but I wish they'd do it now.
Well, Paddy, that's very funny. Thank you very much. Who's the man in Limerick that you... Can you remember how far back does that song go?
I think he's Gleason. He was Gleason. He's dead now.
And how far... When did you get the
I
song?
never wrote it down. I picked it up. I never wrote down the song.
Did you not?
No, I learned them off. I used to have a tractor now, and listen to me, with the noise of the tractor and everything, that come back to me, and by separate, I could learn them all off.
Could you? You could retain a song that you got years and years
I heard
ago.
it a few times. I had such an interest in getting it, these old comic songs, that I'd pick them up very quick.
Tell me something about you're a man, I would say, who enjoys entertaining himself. When you're on the track and you're singing away and you're enjoying.
I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that. I used to go to Lisdoonvarna every year, and everyone in Lisdoonvarna and all around the place knew me. We were driving one day outside Lisdoonvarna. We went to Kilfenora, and after leaving Kilfenora, I went this road that I never travelled before, and I stopped. We were a good long ways away from this one by the stage, and there was a man coming out with was a load of hay. And I stopped and I said to him, tell me, say, where would the straw take us to? Where will bring us out? You know, Paddy Cronin says, you know the place better than I do. See, he was becoming to so and he knew me, I knew no one, but I knew me because they were going up singing and making a fool of myself.
Is that where you found your wife, or where did you find your wife?
My wife was from, she was between here and Newcastle, about 3 or 4 miles down that road. She died in 1992.
And was that a love at first sight, or was it a made match?
I met her in the hall. She came up.
In your father's hall, was it?
From my own hall that time.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't 22, it was just after she. Oh, my father came up to the place when I brought her in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell me, I enjoyed listening to you singing those 2 songs that I. Have you any more of those songs?
I have. Well, let's see. You hear lots of stories long ago, you see. There was no radio, there was no television or nothing. They'd be all around the fire, they'd be telling stories. But you know, from we were young, I remember one night my father said to me, he put his hand here to his waistcoat pocket and he pulled out 1 and 4pence. Go back there to the shops to see for a bit of 2 ounces of bin you got for me. The hair stood above my head. I couldn't concentrate on it because I was afraid of my life. I was telling yarns, stories about ghosts. But if I could think of the ghost stories. But that was some of. But I had this story one time where this man, but this girl, there was a dance coming up in Mala. She was out in Mala, this happened. Mm-hmm. And this girl, she was thinking of going to the dance. But the point is that she didn't think she had dressed good enough to go to the big dance. But she couldn't get it. She knew dressed anyway, but she went out and she was looking in the window. And she saw this grand ball dress inside this here. And she said, would she pay that this? I go to the dance issue. And the next thing was, that did a very respectable man come and stand beside her. And he said, he was looking in that lovely dress, he said, because she was admiring you there, so she. I buy that dress through, she said. And I thought, she, I don't know you what else, she, I don't know, I wouldn't buy that, but I wouldn't have that dress that way, she. So the next thing was, I get it for her, she. The next thing was, after the day after, or the second day after, didn't she get a parcel, and the dress was inside the parcel. And cripes, she couldn't get over. She didn't know whether she would better wear it or for sure. But anyway, she put on the dress and she looked round and she went up to the dance. And the hall was full to the Nala. It was a very posh dance. And the next thing was, this man arrived. And he was very dressed up to the little go. Dicky and all. And he came up and he asked her for a dance. And she couldn't refuse him. And she went off dancing with him anyway. And when she looked down to the pair of hoofs they had instead of a pair of boots, and she got a weakness and fell down on the floor. She had to be carried out.
She was dancing with the devil, so.
It must be. Yeah. To the pair of hoofs they had. When she looked down, she got such a fright that she got a weakness.
My God. And is there any truth to that story? Do you know?
I suppose, I don't know. It was like what you would hear by the fire long ago. You couldn't believe it was like it.
Or did you have any names or places of where that might have happened? Or
it was in Mallet, happened in Simpson. Anyway, I was told that's what that's what I would let you believe, whether it was right or not. The song was made up during the 1939-45 war, when all the Irish were going to England at that stage. All the Irish would have that hymn of course, in England at that stage, all the people in England were conscripted into the army, And they had nobody to take that place. The Irish went over to do the buildings and keep the thing going. And that I was talking to a man that was there, that slept in these hostels at that stage over there, and it was fairly rough. But this is a song that I made up about him anyway over at that stage. Let's stand up again. I left my home in Limerick not so many years ago. I paid my fare to England, to where all the Irish go. To the capital of Warwickshire my plight for riches led. 'Twas there I had to sleep with 7 others in a bed. Put down your legs there, Paddy, shove in a bit there, Joe. Put down your elbow, Johnny, and don't dislocate my toe. Leave go the blanket, Michael, and don't strip my parish gams. That's what you'd hear in England in the digs in Birmingham. No, I'd not been so long in Birmingham till I was in a job. I got the digs to share the bed and paid my 50 bob. But to find a place to stretch my bones, it was my greatest plight. You could hear the other lodgers shout while stretched in bed at night. Put down your legs there, Paddy, shove in a bit there, Joe. Put down your elbow, Johnny, and don't dislocate my toe. Leave go the blanket, Michael, and don't strip my parish gams. That's what you'll hear in England in the digs in Birmingham. Now I've slept in many places since I left my mother's knee. Some casuals in those houses, it was my lot to see. Like sardines we used to feel the crush when 7 in did crumb. To share the board and lodgings in the digs in Birmingham. All together now, put down your legs there, Paddy, shove in a bit there, Joe. Put down your elbow, Johnny, and don't dislocate my toe. Leave go the blanket, Michael, and don't strip my parish gams. That's what you would hear in England in the digs in Birmingham.
Well done, Paddy. God, that was brilliant. Absolutely, absolutely. But you wouldn't, you could go back to the time of, I'd say, your grandmother and the 10 children and being brought up probably in a 1-roomed or 2-roomed house, all sleeping in the same bed too, probably, or sleeping.
Yeah, that was nothing new.
People got on with it and they just got.
That was it. They had to live with it that way. There wasn't a bit for everyone at all, I can be sure of that. But people didn't live away and get on grand.
They did indeed.
A lot of them died young too. A lot of them, the people didn't live all the time. They're living a lot older now.
You spoke to me earlier about your dad immigrating to the States and coming back again. Did he talk about the voyage over to going across in the ship? Was it?
I never had him say much about it. No, he didn't. I don't think so. I know that he took by boat, by ship, of course, I had to go across anyway to him. But I never had him say much about it.
But a lot of people in those days, they were crammed into boats and they got seasick on the way over.
Oh, nearly everyone got seasick.
Yeah, yes indeed.
But they said that it would be great and the better getting seasick. I got seasick myself. I went to the Isle of Man one time when the bloody old boat was before it anchored. It was so swinging. The lads, it was much type of sickening. You know what, you would be in the better. But about an hour after I was eating my dinner and there was nothing wrong. Everyone had a plastic bag and get rid of it.
Paddy, you have a story to tell me about a dream. I'm very interested to hear that.
Well, I'll tell you now. We was talking earlier on there about the dance hall now. But my father used to always go to the court, for the dance hall. The court day for the application would be coming out for the dance hall. But there was someone dead anyway, some friend of his, and he had to go to a funeral. And he asked the solicitor, would I do shall I go? I was only, I was young at him. And I was never in Limerick only once, until with pigs. I went in with another area with Indian pigs, and I was never before in Limerick. I was afraid to go to Limerick for like. So my father told me to go with it. But, anyway, but I went into Newcastle cycling, and the train from Newcastle to Limerick. And I met a man in the train that I knew, and we were together. He was going to a county council meeting. He was a county councillor. And when we were going down, when we landed down to Adair, there was 6 at that side and 6 at this side. And all these county councils and these fellows that were following him, they came in and there was no room for me. And I said, anyway, I didn't know what they were talking about, and I didn't know what. I said, I'd better get out and get into the next place. And there was no one there. And because as I was just going in, the lady come in. Very swanky lady. And she sat down, there was only the 2 of us there. So she gave me a book. She opened up her bag and she gave me a book. The diary, the curate's diary, what do you call it now? But anyway, I was looking at it, and she was looking up and she was talking about the country. And she said, asked me now, where did I come from? You know, was I a stranger coming around here? I said, I was never before inside the train. And I was going for my first time in the train to Limerick. Oh, she said she was from Kildare. And that she was down at Lord Adair's, some big fellow on Adair. She was some big swanky lady. And she belonged to the big class altogether. So we went away, and when we landed in Limerick, I was the first out there because I said I didn't want to miss my man that was with me. He said he'd show me around below. So we went away down the town. Your man said to me, I won't be going down that way, Tano. He said, I will go way down there. He said, we'll find your way. He said, inquire down there to the courthouse. And I must go up here, he says, to my sister. So I went away down. And I went in. I got into the court and everything worked out all right. We got the license and all. But my father gave me 30 shillings. And I go in and to call to boys for pause for the scuffler. With a scuffler for scuffling drills. And I came up and I was going up for boys, William Street. And I see all these carpenter's tools and all these lovely things here in the window. And I was looking in. And a guard came along and he chipped me here on the shoulder. He says to me, what's your name? He said. Where are you from? He said. I couldn't know what the blazer was. I didn't know what to say at all. He said, did you come in the train today? I did, I said. What do you do with the lady's handbag? He said. I said, I didn't see any handbag with her. I couldn't know what to say. I was mesmerised altogether. So he said, come down here to the station. He said, I thought it's to the station, the railway station he was talking about. She was into the barrack, he took me. See, so they questioned me and said, the guard questioned me, what do I do with the lady's handbag? There was no other one. The train said, you must take the lady's handbag. And you might tell us now, so she has to tell us tomorrow because we'll tell us. So that's about my 30 shillings out of my pocket if ever I had. And I just in my pocket and put them up on the table to put me upstairs into the room. And I was above that for the most of the day. Another guard came up in the evening. He said, look, he said, as a friend, he said, tell him out, if you don't see with the handbag, you get it over us, he said, because you won't be left out here. He said, they won't let out. He said, no, I said. Another fellow came up. I said, I have nothing to tell you. I don't know anything about her handbags. I don't know nothing about her. So another fellow came up after he gave me a frightful scolding. I'd be ashamed of it. He said, well, tell him out. Don't ever want to say. The next thing was he came up in the evening with the evening press and my name in it. And he took this lady where she was from Kildare, was visiting down with her friends in Crepes on, might take it novel shade. So I said, I was wise enough to think anyway that I put the paper in my pocket. And I said, that might be useful to me, I said. I was cute enough to know that if my name was in print, that I knew that I was innocent, you know. So I got to know right now. Just getting that the train was gone. I told him the train had begun. I couldn't go home. I had no money and nothing. So they said, that's what you're in trouble with her. They said, you won't be going home at hard now tonight. Then maybe this day we couldn't be home. So the next thing was anyway, then this guard comes to see. The bag was found, to see. What was found? It was found. It went down between the train and the platform, and they found it. Someone found it. And I was left free. But just say I'm free, I'll say no, I know now, said I want to see a solicitor now, I said. And the guard told me, you're right to see. She's a solicitor. So this I went to the guard. They asked me now, what solicitor? I told him I wanted to see a solicitor now. And they asked me now for solicitor, and I remember that there was Tynans in Limerick. There was an old Mr. Tynan, a young Mr. Tynan, and a Miss Tynan. And I knew about him because there was a solicitor for the creamery here, and I used to hear him talking about him. So I said, the old Mr. Tynan. They asked me which one of the Tynans would I want. I said, the old Mr. Tynan. Mr. Tynan came on anyway. And to make a long story short, he told me to look for £150. And my God, I said, let you know, give me that much, £100, the first point of money that him. So you'll get every penny of it to see if we'll stay out long enough to see. So I went back out and you went there, a bit of a quarter, he was there. And she agreed anyway that she gave me £100, the lady, for blaming me, I told her, I gave the paper to the man. Just when she just writing the check when I walk.
When this was your dream? My God. And what age were you, or how long ago was this, Paddy, that you dreamt that song, or you dreamt that story? Yeah.
No, I'm not that big. It was a thought of it. No. But I could keep that going for an hour now.
Yeah, but this is what storytelling is all about, isn't it? And this is what people did long ago. They could draw.
That kept people going. They'd be talking about next day, then they'd be working.
Used you sit in with a lot of older people listening to stories when you were young?
Not so much, you know, you would. You hear that, I don't know. See, I forget. See, if I could recall him at all, if I get anyone to tell me about him, I might bring him back. But there are strange stories, but I can't think of him now, you know. And just see, when they go to, when you wouldn't repeat them, see, then they'd go to your mind. I can't bring him back now.
There'll be frightening stories about it.
It was, yeah, I heard this one before, the CD.
We had that.
Huh? Do you hear it?
I did, yeah. Your brother was...
So
Paddy, tell me, you're going to sing me another song now. What is the song you're going to sing?
About my brother, the CD.
And was your brother the... This is another dream now.
No.
This is for real now, is it? This is...
Well, it was at the last election, boys, when brother he got in. He was always fond of politics, and the seat we knew he'd win. The farmers all the country round, the neighbours big and small, they all voted for my twin brother, now he's a member of the Dáil. Now just before the election, so he canvassed all about. He told the people to drink no milk, and he thought to stir about. Here are the neighbours, they were all cursing him, but he didn't mind that at all. so long as he drew his salary and he's a member of the Dáil. Now my brother, he's a TD, my boys, my brother, he's a TD, and he got me mother the pension, and she only 63. He built a grand new house for us and let the old one fall. Yet it wasn't up to date enough for a member of the Dáil. Now the first time that my brother went to sit in Parliament, whatever the hell came over him, he got into an argument. He criticised the Labour lads, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil, and he told them that the O'Donnell's clan were the coming men in the Dáil. He does not off from me, you know, he never went much to school, but that's no disadvantage in this country as a rule. He's only a one-horse farmer, and you know that means a damn all. Yeah, but now take off your hats to him, sure he's a member of the Dáil. Now my brother is a nice young man, and popular too, I think. The only fault we find with him, he got awfully fond of drink. He stays the whole night in the pub, and he doesn't come home at all. And faith the guards that dar and shift him now, sure he's a member of the Dáil. Now my brother, he's a TD, my boys, my brother, he's a TD. You know what that should mean to us, it means prosperity. It wasn't so very long ago since we were considered small. Yeah, but now we're the leading light with my brother in the Dáil. Now in one of his trips to Dublin, sure he married a nice young wife. Well, her equals you'll never find in all your barn life. Now the three of us sleep together, I'm put nearest to the wall, but sometimes you don't know which of us is the member of the Dáil. Now my brother, he's a TD, my boys, my brother, he's a TD, and when he's away in Dublin, so there's nothing doing for me. The other night I popped into her, she began to roar and bawl, and she says, young man, pop out again, you're not a member of the Dáil. Now my brother, he's a TD, my boys, my brother, he's a TD, and that's the very reason now why nothing bothers me. I know I'll go to heaven when I answer my last call, because you know my twin brother is a member of the Dáil.
Well done, Paddy. Were you involved in politics?
Let us say who and that indeed. I know nothing about politics.
In 1927, the forming of the Fianna Fáil, you must know.
Well, I joined the Fianna Fáil Club, the very first meeting that was held here in Rahina, 1926.
Ah, no, did you? Yes. And was there a big turnout to that here?
There was. Big crowd.
Great support.
Great support right here.
Would you be an out-and-out Fianna Fáiler then?
I never voted for anything else ever in my life, only for Fianna Fáil. I didn't throw myself around. I wouldn't like to do that. I never fell out with anyone over politics, I can be sure. Yeah. But there was a few great men in the Fianna Fáil Club here, and they had a great influence over our family, like. So we all joined it with my father and mother and all of us.
Who were the great men that you were talking about that were admired by the people down here, the Fianna Fáilers at the beginning?
Davy Hearn was he was the secretary, and there was a Dr. Tom Mulcahy. He was the chairman.
How about yourself? You were chairman as well, were you?
A long time after, when they were all dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Paddy Cronin here in Rahina. It's been a lovely evening talking to you. 93, my God, you're a fresh man for that age, and you can sing a great song. And we're going to finish up with another song. What's this one now?
What's this that? And sir, if you will listen... Just up here.
One of them.
Sorry.
And sir, if you will listen, sure, I'll tell you how I'm wronged. 'Twas through a famous regiment to which I once belonged. And fakes of genealogy, I'm not one bit afraid, for all of us had ancestors in the Mullingar Brigade. My father too could foot it well, he always could be found. At every ball at party, sure he fairly shook the ground. Now he was so fond of dancing that when he died, I swear, with a rope around his neck he was dancing in the air. And I don't give a rattle for O'Hara, for the Murphys, not to mention McNamara, for the Dailies or the Burks or the Irish Board of Works, they're spoiling all the drinking Connemara. Says the Sultan to the Tsar of all the Russians, never mind about the Emperor of Prussia. Paddy Murphy, he's a terror, that's a fact, replied the Tsar. He's a bold, bad man from the town of Mullingar. Now, when first I joined the regiment, they asked me, could I ride? Of course I can, me boy, said I, although I never tried. He said, where are you going to then? I said, hold on, me man. Well, I don't know where I'm going to, but I'll hold on if I can. Now, this horse, he leaped into the air, and I leaped too, of course. But somehow, boys, I seemed to leap much higher than the horse. And fakes, when I came down again, this horse could not be found. Well, I couldn't sit upon the air, so I sat upon the ground. So I don't give a rattle for O'Hara, for the Murphys, not to mention McNamara, for the Dailies or the Burks or the Irish Board of Works, they're spoiling all the drinking Connemara. Says the Sultan to the Tsar of all the Russians, never mind about the Emperor of Prussia. Paddy Murphy, he's a terror, that's a fact, replied the Tsar. He's a bold, bad man from the town of Mullingar. Now the sergeant started cursing me for what had taken place, when I let go my fist in the direction of his face. And when I drew it back again, I couldn't understand how his false teeth were growing on the knuckles of my hand. He bawled out to arrest me, but no soldiers could be seen. They were all in tipsy in the neighbourhood she'd been. And to stop his roaring and bawling and to give him peace and rest, sure I stopped his conversation when I jumped down on his chest. He says, explain yourself. I says, of course I will. I went to feel the sick man's pulse because the man was ill. He says, in case of illness, you may Maurice met his meat, but when you feel a sick man's pulse, don't do it with your feet. So I don't give a rattle for O'Hara, for the Murphys, not to mention McNamara, for the Dailies or the Burks or the Irish Board of Works, they're spoiling all the drinking Connemara. Says the Sultan to the Tsar of all the Russians, never mind about the Emperor of Prussia. Paddy Murphy, he's a terror, that's a fact, replied the Tsar. He's a bold, bad man from the town of Mullingar.
Oh, Paddy, thank you very much indeed. Paddy Cronin.